Welcome everyone to my walkthrough of Dragon Age Origins on Nightmare difficulty. Gonna play as Dwarf Noble in this one. I'm putting my walkthroughs of Fallout New Vegas and Wargame European Escalation on hold for now, simply because people are not watching those walkthroughs, so why bother with them really? And if people don't watch this walkthrough, I'm not gonna bother completing this either. Though if people watch it, I'm gonna play Dragon Age Origins, then with all the DLC, Warden's Keep, Stone Prisoner, Return to Astagar, Witch Hunt, Colonialism of Amgarak, whatever. Then Awakening, then Dragon Age 2 with the DLC for that as well. So let's begin here, Dragon Age Origins. This is gonna be a long game. And so is the Golden City, blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world. Santicle of Freno D's 813. I don't think I spelled that name right, but
the chantry
whatever.
teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
So it begins. I'm using a large number of mods, graphical mods. Improved Atmosphere is one of the principal mods that I'm using. I strongly recommend that if you're gonna play this game on PC, that you get Improved Atmosphere, just because it's such a great mod. I'm not gonna go over all the mods I use because frankly I don't know. I've had this game installed for quite a while. I've actually forgotten what mods I use. Anyway, Dwarf Noble.
Greetings.
One of the things I do appreciate quite a lot about Dragon Age Origins is the way they did the dwarf noble origin. The fact that you can play a dwarf in the first place is great, but the way they made the dwarf nobility, and only the dwarf nobility. I don't particularly care that much about the rest of the dwarven society. The castles are kind of interesting, but I also like the dwarven storyline parts of it, not all of it. There are certain things I don't like, but I'll get into that as I play the game. Anyway, gonna use a tattoo. I know a tattoo would be something a castless dwarf would use, not necessarily noble, but this is how I made my dwarf noble when I started playing the game. You know, it's quite sad that most people actually picked human noble, but whatever. So, going with that tattoo color, maximum tattoo intensity. Let's see here. Okay, the ponytail. I'll stick with the beard that I have right now. Okay. Yeah, and red hair. Okay, this is him, the rotten Aidukan. Okay. What does improved atmosphere do, you might ask? Well, you might notice that the armor I have right now is different than the vanilla armor you get as a dwarf noble. That's because of improved atmosphere. It changes, it adds a lot of armors and items in general to the game. It changes the balance of the game somewhat. It actually makes it difficult. Like the vanilla game balance on higher difficulties, like for regular enemies, they get extra health. This mod makes it so that they get extra damage, if I recall correctly. I'm also using a graphical mod that changes the look of certain characters. Certain characters, not all of them. Anyway, going with experience voice. Okay, I'm also using a mod that in vanilla of Dragon Age Origins, when you get a new companion, they already have their attributes set up, their skills set up. I'm using a mod that makes it so that when you get a new companion, they start with their skills, their stats, skills, and all that from zero. So you can level them up or build them up the way you want them to, which is a rather good thing from my perspective. Dragon Age Origins, you know, it's a curious thing with Dragon Age Origins. BioWare recently has been so console-centric with its recent titles that when you look back at Dragon Age Origins and you see the kinds of things that, you know, PC users get, like a toolkit for mods and all that, that makes you wish that other BioWare games would actually have this, like Mass Effect especially. And even Dragon Age 2. And I really do not want to discuss Dragon Age 2 right now. Okay. I'm also using a mod that gives me all the abilities from Awakening. I have them. I have access to all the abilities that you get in Awakening. All of them. Like, but I obviously need a high enough level to actually use them, so I might not get all of them. Still, I'm gonna play a weapon and shield warrior, and the reason I'm using this mod that gives me the abilities from Awakening is that the vanilla abilities of sword and shield warrior are there's just too few abilities to use. I mean, obviously you're a tank, but you don't have enough abilities actually in general, compared to other classes, other specs or classes. Anyway, spend the points, getting shield, pummel, and powerful. Alright, nightmare. Let's begin.
Deep beneath the Frostback Mountains sits Orzammar, the larger of two known remaining Dwarven cities in the world. Orzammar was once the seat of a major empire connected by tunnels called Deep Roads, which stretched thousands of miles. The city now stands alone, cut off from the rest of the Dwarven ancestral lands by the Darkspawn incursion. Secure in Orzammar's impregnable construction, the Dwarven noble houses continue their centuries-old power struggles. Assassination and blackmail are commonplace, but the appearance of honor is paramount. You are the second child of King Endrin of House Aiducan, the 9th Aiducan ruler elected by the Noble Assembly. You grew up in a world rife with political intrigue, and have struggled against brothers and cousins for honor and prestige. Today, a feast celebrates your first military commission, the opening move towards real power in the ever-changing game of Dwarven politics.
Greetings, my lord. You are dressed and ready. Excellent. I couldn't find the armor's matching dagger, but I scrounged up a rather fancy longsword. Do you wish to wear your shield to the noble's feast?
You know, it's a bit ridiculous to go to a feast dressed up in armor, especially plate armor. Well, it's chainmail, but still, you still have plate anyway. And eat while dressed in plate armor. Anyway, yes, let them see me as a warrior.
Of course, if every other noble has a shield and 3 swords, you'll feel awfully underdressed.
You, my friend, are ridiculous.
One can't take all this marching about and speech-making too seriously. Moving on to the business at hand. The king expects you to make an appearance at the feast, but there's no rush. The noble family heads will spend hours boring your father with petitions and petty grievances.
The art of ruling is hardly boring.
If you say so. Listening to 100 lords complain that their neighbors use the same underhanded tactics they themselves employ would tire on me after about, a minute. Still, there are other excitements. As part of the celebrations, permits have been auctioned off to members of the merchant caste who wish to sell wares in the Diamond Quarter. Lord Harrowmont has also opened up the provings for young warriors to test their mettle before tomorrow's battle. Perhaps we should go show them what single combat is really all about. And by we, I mean you. I'll practice my cheering.
Why don't you want to fight in the provings, Gorham?
You remember last year's open proving? It took your father's smith 6 hours to remove my helmet. I'm not meant for single combat. I fight as my lord's second in shield. That's enough for me.
The proving sounds appealing. Let's go have a look.
Right behind you, my lord. The day is ours until the feast.
As you wish. On it.
Wait. Ah, the DLC armor. Yep, I do have Leliana's DLC. Thing is, do I really want to wear this? Well, it does give me good stats, so yeah, fine.
Right.
And it makes more sense than using bloody chainmail to go to a feast.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry, Your Highness. I'm sorry. I thought you were Prince Balin coming down the hall. Forgive me.
Who are you?
She's, it seems she's one of your brother Balin's newest, companions. Prince Balin is attending the feast being held in Lord Iduken's honor.
Yes, of course. It was presumptuous of me to think that he would return to... I am sorry. I will show myself out, with your leave, my lord.
You may go.
Thank you. I will go now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Companion, how about whore? Just call it what it is, really, no need to sugarcoat it. You know, I was watching a video recently by someone, and he said, talking about the endings of Mass Effect 3, because that's what most people like to talk about when in reference to BioWare these days. And he was saying, with regards to endings, that he doesn't like to be talked to like he is an idiot who can't understand simple things. Well, this is a problem I have with all BioWare games. It feels overall that with certain things that you're being talked to like you're an idiot who can't understand these things unless you're being told explicitly what they are. It's a problem.
Allow the merchants to show their wares.
Sure, we can work this out reasonably.
Celebrations.
Please, Master Volney. My work is accredited by the Shaper.
These books are lies written by the enemies of House Volney.
I write only what I find in the ancient records. Lord Iduken, you can vouch for my work, can't you? Your father loved my History of Iduken, Paragon King, Peacemaker.
Gorham, does the scholar truly have my father's favor? No, I'm not gonna pick that answer. I'm gonna play my character as someone who knows a lot about history, because I know a lot about history. I greatly enjoyed that book as well.
This worm has written a book that slanders my house.
What does it say?
It doesn't matter, it's all lies.
What exactly has he written, Brunton?
He says that Volney, the paragon who founded my house, known throughout the world as the greatest of men, was a fraud.
Not precisely. When the Assembly names a paragon, that man or woman is then, by definition, everything one can aspire to be in the world. They form their own noble houses and are revered as living ancestors. But paragons start off as men.
Volney was more than a man.
Get to the point. Why is Brunton so angry?
Volney became a paragon by the narrowest margin in history. One vote. A vote mired in rumors of intimidation, intrigue, and outright bribery. The records of that vote are kept in the Shaperate and are a matter of fact. Not liking history doesn't make it any less true.
The scholar is right.
You're taking his side? What if he published a book like this about your paragon Iduken?
You know, even if he wrote a book about Paragon Iduken like that was like this, I still wouldn't care that much. I personally care a lot about the truth of history. Still, history is an important subject to me. Anyway, the truth is more important than your bloody pride.
You would not say so if it was your house. But
I
I
would.
shall respect your wishes. For now, excuse me, Your Highness.
That fool has no idea how weak his house is or how low he sits in it. Shall I have him killed, my lord?
I like the way you think, Gorham. What do you think, scholar?
Well, historically, it has been prudent to eliminate a small threat before it becomes larger.
Hear that, Gorham? Do the prudent thing. You heard the man.
How do you want it done?
Publicly. Make everyone know make sure everyone knows why.
Understood.
You've shown yourself more daring and aggressive today than most believed of you. Someday I hope to write of the great exploits you are sure to perform.
Word has been sent. He won't live past the hour.
You've shown House Iduken a friend to research, history, and the glory of our people.
You'll remember this when you write of me.
Of course. Heroism and pity for the small man have always been hallmarks of House Iduken. Now, I must try to make sense of these notes. Good day, Your Highness. And thank you.
Okay.
Ah, my friend. Enjoying the festivities so far?
50 silvers for such a small bolt of cloth? That's outrageous.
Akrastvala, big brother. How surprising to run into you out among the common folk.
Especially since duty requires that you attend our King Father at the feast today. Have you so little respect for him to disregard his wishes on a day set aside for you?
Lord Harrowmont told me we wouldn't be needed for hours at least.
Silence! If I want the opinion of my sibling's second, I will ask for it.
Yes, Your Highness.
Balin, help me out here.
You're on your own. I've been dealing with them all afternoon.
What exactly is that supposed to mean, little brother?
Nothing, Trian. I've been having a great time. The speech you gave to the legless boy about hard work and making something of himself was fantastic.
As heir to the throne, it is my duty to impart wisdom and judgment upon those who need it. Now then, you, get to the feast.
Kiss my ass, Trian.
I'd advise you to watch that tongue, dear sibling. Father will not live forever. Come, Balin.
That was fun. Nothing like being talked down to by the next king.
He needs to be alive to be king.
Perhaps this isn't the best place for that sort of talk, shall we?
Yeah.
But my lord, these are surface silks, dyed with the finest saffron and indigo and embroidered by skilled elven tradesmen. I've seen Prince Balin Iduken himself wearing a robe made of something quite similar.
So I pay your exorbitant price, only to end up looking like a poor imitation of Prince Balin. You'll get no coin from me.
But that's not what I meant, my lord. My lord!
Well, going to pause the video right here.